Maybe a little bit longer than that. There we go. All right, welcome everybody to the first new Millennium Falcons podcast. Joined here by Savion Mixon, Trayshawn. We got Fleek, aka Ronnie, and Damsky, and obviously I'm Scott Karasik. Y'all, what is this announcement going to be in 15 minutes?
I don't know. Hopefully some new jerseys and new helmet. We definitely know new helmet. I think we can all agree new helmet. I think icing on the cake would be jerseys, hopefully.
Was I the only one to notice that timer yesterday? Like, okay. Well,
somebody mentioned it, and I was like, yeah. And then I went to it, and I was like,
I definitely didn't see it before y'all said something.
Oh, no.
Because somebody was saying, "What's the announcement?" I'm like, 8:00, guys. It's gonna be at 8:00. And they're like, "How do you know?" I'm like, "There's a timer on the website." Like, it's not rocket science.
The way I found out is I went to their YouTube channel last night and they had the premiere set up for 7:58 p.m. So I was like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be tomorrow night."
But what are they hoping showing us at 7:58?
I'm really hoping, and hear me out, because I know we all want the red jerseys with the red helmet, but I'm kind of pulling for the red helmets and like a white throwback.
Oh, so they could do so they could do road games.
That's right, yeah. That's not exactly.
Bad. Okay, so Creamsicle versus the white Falcons throwbacks. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
That's crazy.
I hope we get red helmets permanent.
Yeah, I love that.
Because that red helmet with that new black and the new white pants, that's really like a modern version of that throwback.
It goes with everything.
Right, yeah. I like that idea. Mm-hmm. I'm just excited, man. I've been waiting all day.
Yeah, really, though.
So we got Nerman, and I'm going to fuck your name up, bro, but I'm guessing Selimovic. He says Troy Anderson filling the A gap like a champ. I hope, man. So. Yeah. I hope. Like, that's gonna be his role with the team. So
yeah.
Troy is probably the long-term Mike if I had to guess, because he's got that really high football IQ. Him being that A gap filler, him being that primary Mike. I think that's the hope for him.
LVE without the injuries, man. That's my hope.
Oh, that's.
I think he's going to be better than LVE, man. I don't think LVE was good in coverage at all.
His rookie year, he was nice, but
he was pretty. I think he was fine. I think injuries just screwed him, but I'll say that better in coverage too. I'd be down.
I mean, I think he's got that ceiling, and I'm going to throw a crazy name out here. He's got that ceiling of like an Urlacher between the high football IQ and the athleticism. That ceiling is there.
I like it.
But do I think he gets to that level? Probably not. But 80% of that is still a Pro Bowl linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Urlacher was a safety too. So I like that comparison a lot, because when you look at Troy Anderson, you look at what Urlacher was looking like coming out of college into the league. Very similar. Right. Very similar players, very similar play style. So I think, like, obviously he's got to,
Yeah,
he's got to get there
for the stars,
but the football IQ is there. I just don't know if anything else is yet. I know that the athleticism's there, the football IQ is there. There's a lot more that we need to see before we're saying, "Oh, this boy's Urlacher."
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, I feel like we. So when I study his tape, like I felt like when he like has to do less dissecting and like when he could just play straight downhill, that's when he's like best, and he's like diagnosing everything on the fly rather than just like think and then go. He's like, okay, let me go and then I'll think on the fly, and then he's way more aggressive and he plays more downhill, hard and aggressive that way too. So I think if he just like he kind of rovers it and just thinks on the fly, I think he'll be fine. But I feel like if you're like digesting a billion things to him, I feel like that's when he's going to get a little bit lost. But I wonder, like, I know it's OTAs and I know it's just a little clip, but when the they sent that clip of Desmond Ridder throwing the slot fade to Kyle Pitts. Richie Grant was actually on the tight end there. So I'm wondering, that was a question I had this year of who's going to be the tight end guy. And I thought early on maybe Troy Anderson might be that guy just because he can run and cover, right, as well. But Richie's shown flashes that he can do it too. So I think that'll be like, I know people are going to be like, oh, like who cares? That's a whatever camp battle. But like that's an important camp battle, right? For me, at least.
Oh yeah.
I think their goal is for Oliver to be the main guy doing it, but they want to be able to roll coverages to where they could have Grant do it. I think that's the goal.
I see.
Yeah.
But I also think that when you going back to the Troy Anderson side, when you're looking at the Mike in this defense, he basically hangs out in the middle of the defense, plays that mid zone, and attacks downhill. And that's basically what Anderson does well. So I'm with Adam here. Like maybe that does help him out. Like
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And I think it will.
Go ahead.
Honestly, I really do think it will. Like if you're gonna bet on a guy, I know he's a second round pick, but and I know there were a few other linebackers that even me, like I was a Leo Chenal type of guy, but the athleticism that Anderson brings, the football IQ that Scott talked about. I mean, the guy played like 4 different positions in college. He excelled at like every single one. So that's a guy I'm willing to, pitch my wagon to, take a shot on. Because if he hits, like you said, Scott, his ceiling is crazy.
No, I think that's even good. That's a good comparison too, Fleet. Because like, look at this year's draft. Like, would people say the best college edge from last year went first? No, but people would tell you that the guy with the most potential and the guy that you'd want to bet on, like, looking at Walker. So kind of the same situation, I think, like you said, Leo was a guy a lot of people wanted, or Leo, I don't know if he says Leo or Leo, but, his floor may have been higher and he may be able to have maybe given you a little bit more security off the back, but you're not going to get that risk or that reward if you don't, go out there and get something with a little bit more risk to it. So I agree.
And I think with Walker, they also see a role for him this year where he may not be starting on the edge. He's starting as a 5-tech and doing what he did in college and dominating in that role for a year and then moving him outside if they can find another 5-tech. Or they may just say, hey, screw it. This guy can be J.J. Watt for us. And we're going to bulk him up 10, 15 pounds and throw him out there and just ruin people's worlds.
Would love to stack Josh Allen and Walker together. That would, would love to watch that.
I mean, Houston did that with Clowney and Watt.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
And it worked wonders.
It worked wonders.
Mm-hmm.
So we got about what? According to the we got 6 minutes. Why don't we just like introduce everybody quick? Just because I know like this is all new. We kind of skipped through that.
We definitely did. Sorry about that.
I forgot about that too.
You want to work Scott, and then we'll go clockwise, I guess, and we'll end with Fleek.
That works.
All right, go ahead, Scott. Why don't we do introduction and current since there's like almost everybody's favorite Falcon's gone. Why don't we do favorite current Falcon on the squad?
Oh, I like it.
I feel like we'll get some mixed answers here, so that'll be good.
Scott Karasik, been around for a minute, been doing this for a little bit. Current favorite current Falcon is a little bit tougher for me because I want to see him actually play for the Falcons first.
Ooh.
But I'm really liking AK-47.
Oh, I like that.
Arnold Ebiketie. I love his college film.
Nice.
Trayshawn, I've seen me trolling on Twitter for a while now. Decided to start taking things a little bit more seriously. So, happy to be here. Glad everybody's having me. Favorite current Falcon, man. I'm gonna go with Old Faithful and say Jake Matthews, man.
Oh, that's a good one.
Wow.
See, this is a good exercise.
He's a hell of a player, man. Gotta love Jake.
A guy that never complains, and he's got to play next to Jalen Mayfield too. So
yeah, that's a fact.
He's like
Trayshawn, you kind of look like Jalen Mayfield, though.
That's funny.
Oh, I'm gonna rip on you, man.
All right, man. Savion Mixon. I mean, I'm brand new to this. I ain't gonna cap with you, but
nice.
Always love the Falcons, but current favorite Falcon. I mean, Drake London, man. I mean, you can't go wrong with him, bro.
Okay.
I mean, when I would say I didn't like the draft pick when it happened, but when you look at the film, when you look at how it's going to coincide with Arthur Smith's scheme, I mean, it marries too well. It does.
I like that. I thought somebody would say Drake. Drake's got a nice swagger to him too. That's why I like him. He's got that.
Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah. He's crazy, bro.
I always preach about those Cali kids, man. Something about those Cali kids. They got crazy swagger out there. I love
Built
it.
Different.
Yeah.
Built different, bro.
Damsky. A few people know me, I guess. I've been doing this a little bit. Glad, honestly, I know we did handpick everybody in here, and it was awesome that all of y'all said yes. Like, I think when me and Hunter talked about it, pretty much we were like, these are the guys we want. And, like, by some stroke of a miracle, we got every single one that we wanted. So I personally just want to thank you guys for joining, because I think this is going to be a hell of a ride. Really good football heads. Anybody that knows me knows I don't like bullshitters in football, and you guys actually do the work. Some of you guys do the work along with me. So I think ATB Falcons is going to take a new leap this year, and I'm really excited. I know this is a little bit longer, but I feel like people already know me, so they might as well, you know what I mean, get to know why we assemble this. So I feel like this is going to be a really good group, and have different kind of content for everybody. But my current favorite Falcon, man, I'm gonna have to go with Old Reliable and Grady Jarrett. I like the D line. Everybody knows I like my pass rushers. Grady committed to the team, so I'm going to commit to Grady. So we'll just say that.
Right. All I'm saying with Grady Jarrett is like father like son.
Yeah.
Grady.
Well, it's funny.
So
his brother Justin did a little pit stop in Hamilton here too, so I was able to see his brother as well. So I guess, yeah. So he plays in the CFL. He plays for Toronto now, the rival, but it's still. You know what I mean? I still get it. I feel like I know Grady a little bit just because he's played here.
Yeah, right.
100%.
That makes sense. Ronnie, you may know me on Twitter as Fleek with the anime avatars. I get a lot of crap for that, but I love anime. I do a lot of things, man. I game, I make music, and I love football. Love talking football. Recently gotten into watching some film with the help of Damsky and others. So yeah, I'm excited to be here at ATB. I appreciate you inviting me, Adam. My favorite current Falcon is a name I expected to hear before it got to me, but it's AJ Terrell.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Hey, AJ is like,
I was close.
Yeah.
So
AJ is my guy. Yeah. Did they just tweet out the thing?
No, they didn't. They said, "Oh my God, it's happening." Me too. I was like, "Fleek, be quiet, be quiet."
I'm like,
Fleek, you said anime, dude. I watch an ass of anime. That's actually a map from the Avatar show.
Last Airbender.
Wow.
That's actually my second favorite of all time.
So,
but yeah. So to wrap it up really quickly before they do the announcement, is AJ Terrell. The main reason is because when we drafted AJ Terrell, he was actually the guy I wanted, and I got slandered for that because everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, that's a terrible pick. He got cooked." And I'm like, "No, that was one game. Y'all gotta watch him. He's gonna grow." And now he's like a stud. So now I have to wear that like a badge of honor.
Nice, I love that.
So the Falcons in 3 straight years took 3 guys I had top 40 grades on at corner, just to show you how shitty I am at grading corners. They took. For the first year, Isaiah Oliver. The second year, they took Kendall Sheffield. And then the third year, they took AJ Terrell. Well, Oliver's now a nickel. And then Terrell's the number 1 guy. And then Sheffield is out of the league.
Probably.
Yeah, he's like,
and that's crazy because the DB position was like TD's strong suit there for a while, man.
It still was, man. He's got some good picks throughout the years, but
he got some guy. Oh man,
he can't draft personality.
Looks like it's starting.
All right,
it is starting. I'm watching it right now. It's counting down. They're doing some.
I'm gonna have
crazy...
a stroke, man. I'm gonna have a damn stroke. I'm so excited for this.
on the website.
Hey, before this happens,
it's on YouTube. I'll send it in the chat.
Before this happens, if we end up with a gradient helmet, it's Trayshawn's fault. That's all I'm saying.
Bro, if we do, Trayshawn's out. Trayshawn's out of here.
Bro.
All right.
Where's
your
the
boy
link?
Fleek?
5'9",
Oh, they just changed their logo. They just say, it's the red helmet.
It's the red helmet. They posted a video of AJ.
Yeah, on Twitter.
Why? What the hell? Oh, so what? There's a.
They added the yellow stripe though.
They did. I
stripe.
noticed.
Yeah.
Stripe.
Oh, that's
technically
66 unis.
Right? Yeah, I was about to say the 80s ones. There's no gold, right? It's just
right.
Okay.
Bro, AJ's so cold, man. I love that.
Bro,
dude.
right?
Well,
so they're gonna rock it with the
80s unis didn't have the gold stripe, and it was the red jersey in the 80s. They didn't go back to black until 88 or 89.
Bro, that is a sick helmet, bro.
Yo, the F7? Oh my god.
Okay, so it's like shiny. It's shiny. It's not matte.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is
bro, oh my god, that's so cool.
That is beautiful.
10, 16, 22. So that would be the first time we do it.
Yeah.
But what's the Oh, it's just on here. All right. So is that it for us?
I think that's it. They made us wait.
It. I mean, basically, it's what we thought it was going to be. The red helmets on the throwbacks.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, so we get to show those off against San Francisco. Great.
Ooh.
Okay, cool. San Fran.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to win in that thing.
We have to.
Okay. Yeah.
Yo, put that down as a win right now. No, just that's cool, man. With the shut to the F7, I love that.
Yeah,
I love
that gold stripe is doing it for me.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, it's crazy. I've got like four tickets, 4 different games that I've got tickets for, and that's one of them.
That's cool.
That's beautiful.
Nice.
Okay, so I was doing this just because I was curious. Because Fleek, you had me thinking about this earlier. So. We don't have a red jersey or anything. In 1966, the helmet that goes with, though, we do have a white throwback. So if they were to throwback in the future, they could obviously do the red if they wanted, but there is a white one that would match the helmet perfectly.
I think if they just talk to the Bucks and plan it out and say, all right, creamsicles versus our
I knew you were gonna say
white and grays with this helmet.
That would be so crazy.
Actually, if we could handpick it to be some, I like the 66 reds and whites, but I like the silver pant look a lot.
The silver pants,
the silver pant look back for just one game, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I was shocked they didn't do silver pants in the first place.
Man, they're only gonna rock it once, so I hate that.
Yeah, right.
Ones that they're showing now.
But
they'll probably rock it again at some point.
And look at the love for it too. Like everybody's loving it. Like why? They gotta switch to that full time.
I'm telling you, man, red helmet is where it's at.
Yeah, no, it does.
All like full time red helmet is where it's at.
I like.
How do you feel about old logo? Would you change logos, or do you like the new logo better?
I do. I like the logo on the matte helmet, but I like
the black Falcon with the red outline.
Yeah, I do like it like that. Yeah.
That is so nice.
I mean, give me the new logo on the old helmet and make it permanent, and I'll be happy.
Hey, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy we get red hats again.
Yeah,
it's crazy that it took this long, especially because all of us grew up in that weird era of the NFL that a lot of the younger generation completely missed out on, where they decided to have a lot of fun randomly, do crazy jerseys, do all the
amazing
insane mix matches and all that, and then it was done, and they changed all the rules after that. So it's fun to get back to that.
Yeah, that's really fun, man. I think because I'm currently in the process of converting our 5th bedroom into an office area in my podcasting spot. I think I'm gonna grab that helmet for my background because it's just so cold. Like with the gold stripe through it, like it's so cool. It's funny, green. So I don't know. I guess because I'm coaching, but Green Gridiron they sell helmets. They sell like if you guys want to check them out, they sell all kinds of helmets, and they have they do their own builds of helmets, and they've already had this helmet on there, so I've already seen it and looked at it, and I almost bought it before, but this one just like AJ Terrell rocking at F7, I'm like, yeah. That's gonna be my background 100%.
Yeah, bro. Like I didn't expect that gold stripe. I'm liking that a lot.
Yeah, it's a nice little touch.
Not a bad price.
How they made us wait till 8 p.m. for a 51 second
for a helmet.
Yeah.
But I'm actually so happy that
who wins?
Yeah.
Right.
Who wins doing that, bro? Like
they could have did this at 10 a.m. But like
very much so.
The story of 1966. Like they didn't even do any of that stuff, man. They're just like, here's AJ
getting.
Yeah. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, they took advantage of us because they know we have nothing right now. We're still looking at OTA film right now.
Basically. I'm gonna be upfront with you. I don't watch any film of OTAs or training camp because you don't want to shit in practice.
I'm a sucker for it. I'm a sucker. I'll watch every second of it.
I don't watch a single second of training camp film, practice film. As much as we think we can learn from it, the minute they get put in games against real competition, completely different people. Yeah. Completely different players.
Yeah.
Every single player is completely different in practice than they are in a game. Because in practice, the coaches are working on shit with them, and we don't know what they're working on.
Mm-hmm.
So we may see a great play, but it's really Hayward's working on his inside coverage, inside technique, and Pitts was running a corner route. He was supposed to give that release. He was supposed to do that. And in a game, a safety is going to be over the top. But in that one-on-one shit, he did what he was supposed to do, and he covered that inside release. So we don't know what we're looking at half the fucking time because we don't know what they're really working on.
It's hard to see unless you see like a whole backside view or whatever of it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's most likely it's 9-on-9, right? I mean, you're just basically playing coverage. You're not really doing much else than that. But yeah.
A lot of times, though, it's like 7-on-7 or even like quarterback with
Mm-hmm.
1-on-1s. And they'll put the film of the 1-on-1s online, and you're like, all right, cool. This teaches me absolutely nothing because, again, the coaches are working on stuff, and we don't know what they're working on.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they really haven't given us much, honestly. Like, like for a team that has a rookie QB, like I had to go to Facebook today to get a Desmond Ridder highlight. Like I'm like,
which was insane.
They still haven't posted that on to their Twitter account. Like they're like, oh, at Trayshawn Simpson's character took care of it for us. We're not gonna post that. Like, hey man, like at least show the rookie some love or something. Like
yeah, they didn't really and like a lot of teams are like posting their highlights from the OTAs or just not even highlights, just like guys going through workouts and stuff. And like we haven't really, I think we got one maybe clip of that, but I don't know. I'm assuming they're saving it for Friday because I know they're doing it at the Benz with everybody. I've got like 5 people going to be sending me clips, so I'm so excited for that. So I know it's just practice, but I just want to see what those guys are up to because like if I was at the Benz, I'd be like in the front row, like with glasses, like trying to see what formation.
Looking like Bill.
Yeah,
looking like Belichick.
Yeah, just trying to see like who's subbing in on what formations, and I'd have my book with like 43, 92, like you know what I mean. Would be, that'd be exactly me. I'm like just like the biggest nerd for this kind of crap. But like to be honest with you, like when you're a part team, and Trey, I think your cousin or your brother's on a D1 school, right? He's at a D1 school. So like anytime you're a part of like the process of building up to the season, which is now spring ball or like 7-on-7 and stuff like that, it's like so contagious to you, and you're just like, I just want to be around it all the time. That's exactly where I'm at. Like so that's why like every single aspect of building a football program, I'm like all eyes on. Like anytime I can get any video or any pictures on anything, I'm just like, yeah, let me see it.
Facts. Like I've been tweeting out, man. Like I need content.
Yeah. Well, now you are the content, Fleek. Now you got to.
Now I am the content.
You are the
Adam.
content, Fleek. Now you got to.
Now I am the
You are
content,
the
Adam.
content. Yeah.
I am the content.
Yeah, so you can give the folks what they're looking for. You can diagnose pictures. You can diagnose the OTA shots.
Yeah.
Everything, no.
Sorry, I'm just having some fun with the layouts.
Yeah, I mean, this was just like
Looks good.
we just threw it in here, and we're just like, hey, like let's introduce everybody. And I know, the live reaction. I think I'm gonna go back and watch it and see like if everybody was hyped about it, because I'm pretty hyped about it. It looks good.
Yeah,
But,
I'm
like,
excited.
that's it.
I'm very happy. Yeah.
Yeah. The reaction on Twitter seems to be really good too. I expected to see more people like, "Oh, we didn't get a jersey," but everybody seems to like.
Oh, they're there. They're there too.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I believe it.
It's pretty cool. They did the OG helmet and not the red helmet everybody was posting wasn't that one. So it was pretty cool that they still kind of made it a little bit of a surprise, I guess. But
yeah,
because they baited us. I think the one in that season opener video, I'm pretty sure that's the 81, because I'm pretty sure it was just the red to white to black. They didn't have the gold.
The gold, yeah, I don't remember seeing that in there.
Yeah,
There was no gold after the 1970 something when they switched to the red ones. If you ever go to sportslogos.net, they actually have a great history of every single sports team ever.
I'm headed there right now.
And you can see how the logos change, how the helmets change. Like, that gold stripe went away in 78.
The history of the Atlanta Falcons, Scott?
This is beautiful.
I'm pretty well versed in that, yeah.
Yeah. No. Have you seen the special that John Boyce did over at Dorktown?
Oh, I have not, but
oh no,
you will love it.
That's a must watch, I would say, for like the most, the greenest Falcons fan to your most veteran Falcons fan.
Yeah, but I feel like there's going to be so many bad memories.
Yes.
There are plenty to go around.
I mean, there's so many bad memories in the history of this franchise.
The worst one they kind of elongated, but still, I mean, it really is something that I really think you would enjoy, especially if you're like a true historian. Like,
honestly, either of those Super Bowls, if they elongate them, like, I don't want to see it.
They do a pretty good job.
The one that was
years. Like, there's a video.
Is that the one that was? Is that the one that was put out by a True Base or something like that?
Secret Base.
Secret Base. Sorry. Secret Base. Yes. I've seen that. That's really good.
Yeah.
I know there are other franchises that are like, can we get that for us?
He's done a couple, I think it was Seattle Mariners, which is perfect.
The Seattle Mariners, yeah. And I think he did one. It was like whoever it is. It was like Captain Ahab or something like that. I can't remember. It was about like one certain pitcher. I can't remember his name.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So they did. Yeah, this is definitely a promo for Secret Base in Dorktown.
Yeah. History of
yeah.
But no, it was pretty cool.
This sportslogos.net is really cool. I'm seeing some Falcons logos that I've never seen before. Like this alternate logo is crazy.
They got some crazy ones
on top of the Falcon.
From 98 for the 02, yeah, I've never seen this before.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
What is it? Crazy. Sports logos?
Sportslogos.net.
Yes, sportslogos.net.
This is very impressive.
Yeah, that A on top of the Falcons they did throughout the Super Bowl run, because I remember seeing hats with that shit.
That is fire. I need one.
I would love a hat with one of those.
I would love a hat with that logo. I would absolutely love a hat. I'm kicking myself for not getting one back then.
That is crazy.
And that ATL they have with the Falcons wing, that's kind of like a tribute to that old A with the Falcon.
I see. That's cool.
This is cool. I'm gonna be on this one.
I was gonna say, like, once we finish up, I will be looking at this.
I'm gonna be on this one. Wow.
They got a lot of stuff there. Hey, Tuggle, what's up?
Your dog is named Tuggle?
My dog is named Tuggle.
Falcons fan through and through.
The 98 to 2002 98 to 02 word mark, that one, I remember that one pretty vividly. the 98 to the 02 with the Falcons logo and the Atlanta Falcons on the bottom. I remember that Atlanta Falcons like slogan being everywhere, like on shirts and stuff like that. That was when I first.
Now that I do.
Yeah, when I first became a fan in '98, my first shirt had that Atlanta Falcons on it. I got it from like the most random store in Canada, which is like so hard to find. That was like the biggest issue when I was a kid, was like finding this stuff. And then I was able to find a Jamal Anderson jersey in like '99 in like a random store, and that like made my life.
Yeah, funny story.
Yeah.
I had a Jamal Anderson jersey for a little bit, but it got stolen from me by a random girl I dated.
That's terrible.
Wow. Well, was it stolen like you let her put it on one time and she just wore it home, or did she literally like take it?
We went to a game together, and then she dumped me like the Wednesday after the game, and I never saw that jersey again.
Did we win?
No, we got smoked.
Of course. That was a bad week for you.
That's telltale then, Scott. That's telltale where that week was going.
It really was.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of, I think we can all agree that the uniforms was like a huge win for all of us. And I think all of Falcons Twitter, like I've only seen positive. I've seen one guy who's mostly negative, but I won't shout him out. But everybody's pretty excited. Yeah, Trey's on here. That's why Trey has it. That's why I haven't seen the negative stuff just yet. But yeah, like it looks mostly good. I think my only complaint would be that we don't get to see it more than the one time.
Yeah,
there's got to be more than just the one. There's got to be more than.
Shouldn't they do throwbacks twice?
I would hope so. They usually do one against like the Saints twice, don't they? Or once at least.
Normally one is going to be against the Saints, and one's going to be ideally against the team they played in those throwbacks in the old school a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised. Again, 49ers fits that, right?
Okay.
They played the 49ers. They were in the NFC West with them. And the old alignment was stupid as hell, because Dallas was in the East, but Atlanta, Carolina, and New Orleans, which are all east of Dallas, were in the West. With St. Louis, which is actually east of Dallas, also in the West.
Seems legit.
That's weird.
Seems legit.
You know what? I did.
You're like, this makes no sense. It makes no sense.
I came across that on one of these historian websites where it was like the Falcons were once in the NFC West, and I was like, what? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The old alignment. If you look at a map of NFL teams, right? Just like team map.
Oh, you're talking about how we used to be in the division with the Niners and all that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Crazy.
So just a map of where the logos are, right? So St. Louis is east of Kansas City, which is east of Dallas. But Dallas is in the NFC East because no idea. The Cardinals were also in the NFC East, right?
Yeah.
The Cardinals were in the East.
The Cardinals?
In Arizona. They were in the East and not the West.
Perfect.
Okay, so they obviously were just like, all right, everybody that's on the West Coast, you're going to be in the Eastern Division.
I think they were just like, fuck it. Oh, there's a new team. You're in the East. All right, new team. All right, you're in the West.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay was in the NFC Central.
That at least makes some sense.
I guess, because I guess they're like the center of.
Well, no, but if you find all the central teams,
north to south,
all the central teams, it's basically north and south. And they're like almost due south of those other teams. So you're like, all right, well, they're due south of Detroit. That makes sense. But I mean, Dallas in the Central would have made more sense.
Fuck. Oh, my bad. Sorry for the language. I was just laughing at what the Falcoholic posted about. They put a poll out. They're like, "Are you a fan of the red helmets?" And it was The two choices were yes and yes. I'm actually cheesed because I'm supposed to be going down December to Atlanta for a football tournament, and I missed this by like about a month, and I'm really upset. I wish I could have been in attendance to see that. That would have been nuts. I would have been over the edge seeing those red helmets in person for the first time. It would have been quite the first game in Atlanta to see. But
I'm gonna be walking into my Jesse Tuggle jersey.
yeah, great. Rub that in. I'm 20 hours away, so that's not fun. But I mean, like, that would have been cool to see. Hopefully I can see one in December. I don't know definitively what day I'll be there, but it'd be cool to check that out. But I don't know where you guys want to go with this little live show. Well, is anybody asking any questions? No, we don't really have too much going on.
Listen, I'm down to talk about anything.
Anything.
Falcons related, of course. Falcons related.
Yeah.
I mean, we can bullshit about whatever Falcons related.
Yeah. How about June 1st? Who would you like to see us? Who would you like to see us add? Who's one guy you'd like to see, like, through and through?
I got more of a addition by subtraction, but
oh geez.
I know where this is going.
I can't.
His name rhymes with Shmeon Shmon.
This is every time Trey, Trey and Fleek and Savion can vouch for. Every single time I get on something and we're talking about it, this is like literally the first thing that comes up in that chat. What do you think about Deion Jones?
Matt Ryan, man.
And then I just get painted as this like super hater. I'm like, man, if you guys keep asking me about it, I'm obviously gonna tell you how I feel about it. I'm not gonna bull crap you about it, right? Yeah, but I guess addition by subtraction, we'll see.
Let's put it this way: if a guy doesn't fit, and a guy shows you he doesn't fit, and a guy shows you he doesn't want to fit.
Yeah, you got.
You gotta make a move, man.
Let's just say, like, I'm excited to see more Mykal Walker this year.
That's a better way to phrase it.
Well, I guess we could phrase it that way.
Mykal Walker,
personally,
Rashad Evans,
Troy Anderson.
I don't think Rashad Evans.
You know, I'm excited to watch us lose in new ways. I think it's going to be really cool. You know,
yeah.
So we're losing in ways where the quarterback play actually does make us
could
lose.
help us. So.
What's that?
Who's one guy that could help us win, though? Why don't you tell us that?
Oh, J.C. Treader, for sure.
I don't know, man. Treader's got a lot of injuries, man. There's a reason why the Browns got him.
You know, I don't think he.
And that's true.
Anthony Barr would just be fun. I don't, you know, if I'm just thinking,
that would be fun. That would be fun.
But I don't know if that's really somebody that I would sign if I were the Falcons. But
I'm so sad that Akeem Hicks signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's the kind of signing that I was kind of hoping we'd been in on. It's like we signed all the Bears, but not Akeem Hicks. Like, come on, man.
I got a name, but it may not be a great one. You guys may not agree. Eric Flowers.
I was just about to say that. I saw that he was still, that he was still available from Washington, and it's like
first Jalen Mayfield.
But at tackle, at guard, he's been okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. At guard, I was just listening to the I think it was the Athletic Football Show, and they were like, "Listen, as a tackle, no, you know, he's atrocious. But when you put him at guard, and I mean, I have to look at film on him from last year. But
there's a guy that used to play for the Falcons. He reminds me of, and not in a good way, as the tackle. That's Kevin Schaffer.
Yeah, I was about to say shit. Oh, that's exactly where you're going.
Like,
God, Scott, we can't do it now.
But the minute you put him at guard, he's okay.
Like that.
I just want to upgrade. I just feel like we have to upgrade the guard position or the center position at some point. Because
I think if you upgrade the left guard position, it makes the center position better because our center stops worrying about and starts trusting his left guard.
I'd rather fix a guard issue than a center issue at this point, anyways, because messing with centers this late in the season, I just hate that kind of breaking up that continuity with QBs. Like the center is like kind of one of those spots on the O-line that's unique. So if we're going to be plugging and playing anybody, it should be the guard spot because it's just a better route to go.
Well, I mean, there's guys like Quentin Spain. He was a guy that we kept talking about. I didn't Duvernay Tardif. He's a free agent. He was decent with the Chiefs for a while, and then he got traded to the Jets last year.
He took his when he took that year off as a doctor, he lost a lot of weight,
Oh, did he?
And he hasn't been gaining it back. That's why he hasn't been playing as much.
Trey Hopkins, too, is a guy I know. I think did he not play center last year for the Bengals?
He wasn't very good, though.
But he was okay. But I just want to see him at a guard or 5-tech, but I don't really know. My 5-tech that I wanted is gone, so I don't know who's left in here.
Who was you interested in?
Eddie Goldman is available. He'd be a good ad.
I kind of want a nose. I want Linval.
Yeah, but we got Vincent Taylor and Anthony Rush. Like they kind of. I think Vincent Taylor, when he was healthy 2 years ago, he was a top 3 nose tackle.
Or if you want a guy who's pissed off, has a chip on his shoulder, can teach all the guys what they need to do, and just has that attitude you want on the defensive line, why not go out and sign Donkey Kong? Ndamukong Suh.
Ndamukong Suh?
Oh.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Suh.
Is that really his nickname?
That's what I've been calling him that for years. There's guys that have T-shirts with him holding an offensive lineman, and it says Donkey Kong Suh because he's throwing them like buckets. Like it's out there.
Suh has always been one of my favorite interior defensive linemen, defensive lineman period actually. But I feel like I was listening to a podcast the other day. They were talking about how Suh. I think it was actually the Creamsicle podcast that Hunter was on the other day. And they were talking about how Suh is like such a businessman that he's looking for a certain contract and stuff like that.
So Suh, I live in Portland, and Ndamukong Suh is from Portland. He has like 3 or 4 restaurants out here. That man is a businessman. He oh yeah. And he does his stuff like it's actually fascinating. Get a little bit into the weeds here, but Ndamukong Suh like make sure that like they're all coming from farms like right with outside the city and like all that like he's legit about every step of the process. So I have heard those same rumors that he has a lot of other stuff kind of baked into his contract because he is very much a active businessman right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Eric Robinson's kind of been pointing at Larry Ogunjobi as well.
That's right.
Eric Larry Ogunjobi.
I mean, he'd be quite the ad at this point in the offseason. I mean, the guy would be that 5-tech that we really do need. He'd be fun. I need him to change that 65 number though, because that's just disgusting. But the guy is a freak, so I mean, I'd be for it.
Let's see what numbers are available
with the Bears.
65's not even available, man.
Good, that's great. Whatever 90 number, whatever great. 50 numbers.
What about 69?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, anything 65 is such an offensive line like guard number. Like that's what I think of it. I think you're like a guard.
Yeah.
If you wear 69, you're either an offensive lineman with a great sense of humor, or you're a defensive lineman with a great sense of humor.
Hey, the number 50 just opened up.
Remember in high school when they
That's
give
a linebacker number,
and the good players would get their pick first? Like 65 was the end of the roster, guys.
I always had like 18 or 9.
Like that's 65.
18 or 9.
When I was playing defensive end, I was number 44.
I'd get 16 every now and again just because someone else would take 18 and someone else would take 9, so I'd be like, fuck.
I was 32, hence Damsky 32.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I always remember I wanted 21 so bad, and then I guess I was like lower on the on the totem pole, so I had to get 49. I was sick. I was like, bro, why do I have
bro? Make it play. I wanted saucy number 3 so bad coming off the edge, and then when we went to the gymnasium to like pick out our jerseys, when I got in there, it was like number 32, 44, and like 56 were there. So I just took 40.
56 is a good number though.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It is.
3 was my number.
I mean, John Abraham wore 56 with the Jets. Like, I'm not going to hate on that number.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good players that wore 56 throughout the years.
Oh, yeah. Lawrence Taylor.
Keith Brooking, right?
Nah, Brooking's like the worst of the guys you could have listed.
Mr. Third Down, baby.
Oh, Witherspoon. Yeah, he worked.
Yeah, Witherspoon.
The old spoon.
Yeah. Weatherspoon was probably one of my favorite Falcons that couldn't stay healthy. I love that man with all my heart.
That did hurt, bro. He's
This is like kind of
You
like
know,
a
player-
trip down memory lane for this first podcast. This is a good one.
It's nice
Oh,
to
yeah.
name some different players too. You know.
Yeah,
besides
Yeah, I mean,
departed ones.
I think it's
Yeah.
fair that we only talk about a good Falcons legend. Prior to us getting Matt Ryan was, I mean, he's not a quarterback, but, you know, we went through a little bit of a rough season with Byron Leftwich and Joey Harrington, but there was some fun there when we traded for Ashley Lee. He was one of my favorite Falcons at that point in Madden because he was so damn tall and he used to moss everybody. So he was my guy for that year in Madden.
The best year of Madden was the Michael Vick cover Madden.
Oh,
Yeah.
If you were a Falcons fan.
oh yeah.
Because they buffed the defense up to like an 85 overall.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't great, like ridiculous or anything, but it was like, okay, I can go to the playoffs with these guys. And then they built the offense and you went 4 verts every play. You either threw to Finneran or like Jefferson, I think.
I was gonna ask, wasn't
Just
that the year we
fucking
traded for
chucking.
Peerless Price though? And Peerless Price
Yeah, I
was
think
stupid
Price
fast
was
in
actually
Madden.
on that game.
So Price was on that game. You're right. That was the year we had Peerless Price. We had
Yeah,
Price.
because his speed was
and
like
Finn-
something stupid.
It
and
did
I
something
remember just
ridiculous. I was like,
But
this
the
is not
thing
Peerless
is,
Price. This is
even
Randy
in-
Moss.
Even in Madden, he couldn't get open.
Yeah, but he was just
Yeah, he had
stupid
no
fast,
separation.
man. He was like 96 speed or something dumb like that. I remember when we traded for Peerless Price because Buffalo was like obviously like 20 minutes down the road for me. I was like, yo, this is amazing. He's gonna be the best. He's the best receiver ever. And like the year before Madden, I like bumped him up to 99 and just crushed it with him. Like, yo, he's the best. And this was like 9-year-old, 10-year-old me doing this, right? I was like just so excited about having Peerless Price. And then he was like the biggest buzz. And like, to be fair, I was telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, we gotta try to find a way for me to get this jersey. So luckily she didn't
If you
get
want one, I know a man that has one.
I might have to get that. I might have to get that just for the fun of
Who
it.
was it?
I
Ronnie?
definitely still have my Peerless Price jersey, bro.
Yo, that's
From when
sick.
I was like 9.
Yeah. Might have to wear that on stream. I don't know if you've gained some weight since 9, but I mean,
Oh, I've gained plenty of weight since 9. Yeah, that was definitely. I only own that jersey in the black, but it's the black jersey that you hate, though. That's the thing.
oh yeah.
How do you hate those jerseys? How do you hate those jerseys?
know.
I mean, those
I
are no.
don't like them. I don't know. I didn't. I respect Vic in them, but the good. Like I said, that white one with the black trim on the V on the neck. That was my Michael Vick jersey. Because I actually did have that jersey growing up. That was like one of my first jerseys. No, Jamal Anderson was my first one. And that one was my like one that I went out and bought. And I love that jersey. Like, man, I wore it almost every single day. Like, people were like, "Don't you smell?" And I was like, "I don't care. It's Mike Vick." Like,
It's
True
Vic. Calm down.
football guy right there. That was a true football answer right there.
but like I because I just remember that game. Like all my friends, a couple of them were like Eagles fans, a couple of them like a lot of Packers fans in Canada. And they're like, "Oh, Atlanta's got no chance. Like, Favre never loses in Green Bay in the playoffs. Da, da, da. It's snowing. You guys can't do this." I'm like, "Yeah, well, you guys don't have Michael Vick, so here."
And that was a fact.
And that is exactly what happened.
Yeah, I came to school next day with my Vick jersey on. I was like, "Huh?" I'm like, "What's up?" Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
That's funny. The first game I really actually remember watching was the game where Vic won it in overtime against the Vikings.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
walk off.
Same.
Bro,
Same.
that
50, 60
play
yard
is,
touchdown
like,
rush.
painted in my head. Like that's like the walls in Italy, like that's painted in my brain. Like I'll never
Bro.
like, you know what I mean? I'll never not remember that play. Like on my deathbed,
Yeah,
that
that's
was the
so
last thing I
iconic.
remember.
That's such an iconic moment, bro. Like,
Yeah, it was
that's
nuts.
crazy.
That was 100%. That was 100% the play that made me a Falcons fan because up until that time I was just watching football and I had no idea what I was looking at. I was like, oh, that's cool. People are running into each other. But
Yeah.
like I saw that and I was like, yo, that was fire. Like he
Yeah.
made the entire defense fall. Essentially, I mean, he made the entire defense fall to his knees, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even as a kid, not understanding like exactly like the height of what was happening, but I still knew I'm like, oh, this is it. Like if he scores, it's over. And he like in the way it happened, bro, it was just too perfect.
Scores and runs
Falcons
out the
game
stadium too.
was
Yep.
the
Yeah, it just
Falcons
runs out the tunnel like, man.
Go ahead,
You can't
Scott,
coach
go ahead,
that.
Scott.
My first Falcons game was the Falcons Niners back in '96 when they got absolutely fucking smoked.
Well, way to bring us down, Scott.
And you stayed.
and I stayed, and after watching that game, I was like, all right, this is my dad's team, so I'm gonna keep watching them. And they went 3-13 that year.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh.
You're a good man.
You're strong, Scott.
You're a good
I
man.
don't know if I could have stayed if that was my first experience.
Scott's been through it, eh?
I've been through
Yeah.
it, guys, multiple times. So when we're like, oh, we're gonna rebuild, I'm like, oh, and another one. Like,
Oh,
like,
man.
you don't know how many times this team is
New.
rebuilt in my lifetime.
That's funny.
Trey, what was your first memory?
I think I was kind of there with Fleek with the mini game. One game that really sticks in my mind because I remember it was like the first game where like it felt like Michael Vick put everything together, and it was this just regular season game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm trying to think of the year here. We'll pull up these stats. I just remember watching it, and it was like Vic put on a passing, like it looked like Eagles Vic. And it was it's just a game that like really sticks in my mind. But the one that I can like the first one I think of and can actually remember watching on TV was the mini game.
You know, I think Nate Tice, Mike Tice, obviously the great O-line and then the Vikings coach. I think Nate Tice told the story of Nate Tice saying that he became a Falcons fan that day on the Vikings sideline was because Michael Vick and then his dad like didn't want to talk to him. I'm pretty sure he told that on the Athletic podcast before because he said that Vick was the best player he's ever seen when he did that. So I mean, I think I'll have to find it somewhere. I'll clip it, but I'm pretty sure that he talked about that, and that's like super iconic. It was funny, but
That's crazy.
yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell everybody that's watching that's going to watch this. Like, obviously, this is just kind of like a first off-script thing. But as we get deeper into the season, we'll get more in-depth, and it'll be more football related to, like, the current Falcons. We're just, like, kind of bullshitting our way through this. And, like, we did the introductory, and then we did, the jersey reveal, and we all got excited for that. So now we're just hitting memory lane, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah. But trust me, I have plenty of Desmond Ritter.
Video is going to be longer than a minute. So
The jersey they
Oh,
needed to
that's
come back
cool. That's
with.
a cold jersey. I almost bought that in
that's
South
so
Carolina.
cool. Oh my God.
That same
the
jersey.
silver, man. The silver is so
That
nice.
is nice.
My wife got me this as a Christmas present.
That's so cool. That's so awesome.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome,
that's the
man.
one. That's the one.
That's how you know you got the right
Dang,
wife.
that was,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah,
For
that's
sure.
a good one.
100%. Hey Trey,
Oh,
was that game in 06? Was that the last like Vic game for
I
against?
think it might have
in the last
been.
season?
I'm looking for it right now. I think it.
What, that
I was-
Minnesota
I checked
game?
before, but I think it might.
No,
it might
the
be.
one that he's talking about against Pittsburgh. Because I see one here where
That
he
was
went
06.
18 for 30. Yeah, 18 for 30 for 4 tubs.
Yep, that's the
Ooh.
game.
Sounds
Mhm.
like Vic, super
And they
inaccurate,
tied,
but
I
they
think.
still scored touchdowns.
That was one of his-
4 tubs
Adam,
and 2
that was
picks.
just like his most accurate game that year.
No,
Six-
yeah, that does not surprise. I just remember like, every single year there was like, oh, Vic is training with Steve Young to be more accurate. I'm pretty sure Steve Young was like a 58% completion percentage guy too, and he just made it win. So I'm like, not like as I'm older now, I'm not sure Steve Young would be the guy to be like learning how to be more accurate. Steve was just a winner. Like he just had good teams around him, right?
Vic
So-
had his best year in
Yeah.
Atlanta the year they went and got Musgrave, because Musgraves and Bedextrous can throw with both hands
yeah.
and actually knows mechanics from both sides. That's the only year that he had where you're like, okay, I see the progression as a passer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he hit like 59% one year, and I was like, "Oh man, this is amazing!" And like, I never knew what a great.
He never hit 59% until he got to Philly, bro.
No, really? Oh my god, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he was like a 57, 56 percentage, and then like I think. So my one of my really good buddies, he was a Donovan. Actually, he did pass away. I gotta say that he was a football buddy of mine. Rest in peace to that guy. But he was a big Eagles fan, he was so Donovan McNabb was like, he was hitting 66%. I'm pretty sure. He's like, oh, he's the best quarterback ever. I'm like, Donovan McNabb's not even that good. But like looking back on it, Donovan McNabb was pretty damn good.
Oh yeah. My cousin was a huge Eagles fan. I had to hear from him all year, even though we, of course, we didn't play him that often. But he was just always like, yo, the Eagles are good, Falcons suck. It is what it is.
That was like a good, like, I know we were like 1-4 in the rivalry. All I remember is the one game we did win. There was like all that smack talk between D'Angelo Hall and Terrell Owens. And like, yeah, that's why like to this day, I still love D'Angelo Hall. I know our break was bad, but D'Angelo Hall was one of my favorite players that ever played for Atlanta. But like that first game, we opened up regular season, the first game. And D'Angelo Hall shut down T.O. and I was like, and he had 2 picks that game. I was like, man, this is like the best. That was my favorite. But that was that one game, and then I think we lost them. I think that was the year we lost them in the quarterfinals. I'm pretty sure. But I was like, I'm like, they just have our number. I think we were like 1-4 against Donovan McNabb led teams with Vic. But it was just great to see, Vic and McNabb go at it.
Was like randomly in the middle of a season too.
Yeah, I mean,
I know it was like the 05 opener.
Yeah, it was the 05. That's what I was saying. D'Angelo Hall had 2 pickoffs in that game.
And they like fought in the middle of the field, and Jeremiah Trotter like got into a fist fight with like Daryl Shropshire or some shit.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. D'Angelo Hall, like, that's what I like. Like, I'm good or bad. Like AJ Terrell reminds me a lot of Hall. Like Hall had like infectious swagger for the defense, and it fed the defense. AJ Terrell's like plays like that to a T, but he's a lot more technically sound than D'Angelo. D'Angelo was like very much like a poor man's Asante Samuel. Like Asante would just take risks, and all his risks would pay off. Where D'Angelo Hall, like, his wrist didn't pay off a lot of times. Yeah. So, I mean, you'd get burnt, but I mean, he was still that dude, and I loved his game. I respected his game. I was really young when he was there. I think it was like 14 or 15, or maybe even younger than that. But he was just a guy, like, he would make these flashy plays and then just give up. I'd be like, oh, that wasn't even his fault. I didn't know anything about coverages, but I was like, yeah, that wasn't even his fault. Don't even worry about it.
What's crazy about D'Angelo Hall? What's crazy about D'Angelo Hall is that that the next generation is going to know is that, that one thing from Hard Knocks that everybody sees with DeAndre Hopkins, not realizing that this dude was, is he a multi-Pro bowler? I want to say.
He was
multiple from multiple positions too.
Yeah,
he was a Pro Bowler as a free safety and as a corner.
Yeah, he went with Washington, Raiders, and Atlanta. He went with all 3 teams, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow.
No, he went twice with Atlanta and then once with the Foreskins.
Oh, really? He didn't go with the Raiders? Because I know his first year with the Raiders,
he's a 3-timer. He went twice with us and once with the Redskins.
I knew Atlanta. Atlanta was I hated that break. But Mike, like as soon as Mike Smith came in and he like cemented the way he was going to be, I was kind of like.
Sorry, my wife has cookie tins down here.
No worries. And then I think Brent Grimes was the guy right after him, which he was super. He was probably one of the more underappreciated Falcons of all time tui. So
funny story about Brent Grimes' wife.
Yeah, I was like, he could talk about
God.
Is
it a funny story? Is it a horror story? Because she's got
it's kind of funny, but so we were on Twitter and I posted an article like the Falcons were smart to move on from Brent Grimes because it's going to give Desmond Trufant some snaps and Robert Alford some snaps to really get their game going with Asante Samuel. You drafted these 2 guys. Cornerbacks really only learn from reps in game, put them out there. Mm-hmm. And she took it to mean like Brent Grimes sucks and all that. I'm like, that's not what I said. I said, let the young guys learn. and she was tweeting me like, "Eat a dick, fuck off, blah blah blah."
Oh
blah.
my god.
And this was in the
Really?
middle of her like posting up sex cakes and shit, and I'm like, you're gonna get him fired from his job, but I'm okay with what I'm doing. So yeah. I was like,
That's crazy.
you do you, Miko, and then I just blocked her because I mean, what do you do in that situation?
The block button undefeated.
Yeah.
Block button's undefeated.
That's pretty nuts. That's funny. It's a good story. I did not know that.
And then like anytime that she came coming up in the news, I'm like, yep, Miko doing Miko. Like, like when Brent got cut from the Dolphins, oh, Miko Grimes is too much of a distraction. Yep, Miko doing Miko. Like,
yeah, man, but he was so good. Even there, he was good. But and then where'd he go? He went Tampa, or I think the
easiest way to beat him though was a 9 route.
Yeah. Yep. What were we saying? We think that's it for the show? You got anything?
It doesn't matter. Like I said, I will talk about anything right now. I'm on go.
Like I said, 5 dudes bullshitting about the Falcons. Like,
I do have a question. Right? If we're gonna wrap it up, I do want to ask a question before we.
Yep.
We don't have to get that long-winded in it. I know you already be on here for like an hour. But who is? I know we talked about our favorite Falcon, favorite current Falcon. Who are you most excited to watch progress this year, though?
Got you. Okay, I thought you were going
So
who do you hate,
me-
because then I just my mention's gonna explode probably again. But
We
go
know
ahead.
who you hate.
This is good. This is good.
Yeah, like for me, it's like Tyler Algier because if he like is as productive as I hope he can be, I'm hoping that by season's end he's like solidified RB1. Because I haven't watched a lot of tape from the 2020 season, but I did watch some tape from the 2021 season, and I like him, man. Like I feel like his ball carrier vision is really good. I don't think
he runs like Jamal.
Ever seen him fall backwards. I think he always, like, even if he lost a yard, he fell forward, so they got him 2 or 3 yards in the backfield or something. So that's something I like. He always falls forward, and on like sometimes, and I think this was something that me and Trey Sean talked about a little bit, but on some certain plays, he seems like the fastest guy on the field. Like his acceleration is crazy sometimes, but that's every now and again. But I feel like he could be a solid running back for us.
He runs like Jamal Anderson, just does not get blocked back, falls forward, takes the hit, is okay with it, breaks the tackle. You can't arm tackle the man. He's just a pure power guy. He's not as powerful as like old Turner was, and he's not as fast as Turner was, but you can win with a guy like him, especially a running back. All vision, all balance, power.
Which way are we going? We come back.
You're up next.
Okay. Yeah. I'll say Richie Grant. I just think there's going to be a lot on the table for him. I feel like if he makes a big leap this year, I feel like the secondary is going to play like really, really well. And I like either way, he's going to be starting. I think he's going to be starting this year. Therefore, you will see like good peaks and bad peaks in his game. So I'm just really hoping that there's a lot more good peaks, and he's like trending towards being that like center of the field safety for us. Because if we're going to switch to the coverage of, I think we're going to play more cover one. That's just traditionally what Saban teams do. Saban style defenses do. Sorry. I think if we see the growth of him being a single high safety, I really feel like this defense could, potentially be in the right direction and taking off, especially if like a guy like Ebiketie gets hot and he's able to create pressure at a high rate as well. So I think I don't want to put on a lot on his plate, Richie Grant, but he's the guy I'm probably most excited about seeing. To go with the pass rushers too, but I mean, I'd
be shocked if he's not playing 100% of the snaps,
yeah,
barring injury, of course.
Yeah,
I'd be shocked too. I mean, like DMPs is not really that kind of guy of like, if you're playing bad, I'm going to pull you out. It's kind of like if you're playing bad, figure it out kind of thing. So I do like that coaching style, is like, because sometimes it can mess with you mentally if you pull it, because I've done that times with players that I coach, that I'm like, I know if I pull him and talk to him and then he goes back on the field, he'll get right. But some players, they like to figure it out on the field themselves. So I feel like Dean Pease is very much of, hey man, we're gonna leave you out there and you're gonna figure it out. So I mean, I'm excited
he
to see
knows who those guys are that he can pull, and the guys that he needs to leave out there, because he left Harmon out there, and Harmon for the most part was pretty good as a safety. Like he wasn't great. He wasn't creating turnovers every play, but for the most part, he was reliable.
He was a solid safety.
And I think Grant can do that easily this year and play that same role, but I don't see him coming off the field either, like you do.
No,
I think with Harris, though, he would pull him and throw Hawkins out there, and then he'd pull Hawkins back off and throw Harris back out.
I think the biggest thing too with Richie is like, even in Richie's limited play time last year, like he was able to create turnovers. Like he was able to punch the ball out. And that's one thing, like growing up as a player, you either can do or you can't do. Some people just have a knock for getting the ball, whether it be a fumble or whether it be a weird deflection that just lands right in your hand. Sometimes those guys have that kind of luck, and Richie had that luck in UCF. And then this past year, I think he forced 3 forced fumbles his rookie year. Or I know he at least did 2. So I mean, he's a guy that he's just able to create those kind of turnovers. And then you need closers like that. Like AJ Terrell's a closer. If Richie can carry that momentum into the NFL, then he could be another closer for us. So I think he's a guy that creates them, causes them, deflections, all that fun stuff. So I think Richie excelling would be very good for us.
Before we go to the next player right quick, can I say what you just said, Adam, is so important, like having closers on the defense, especially, and I'm hoping we can have some sort of pass rush towards the end of games. Because I can't tell you how many times that is like the Falcons have scored. We give the ball to the opponent with like 1 minute and 30 seconds left. And I even feel like, man, we're probably
we all do. We all do. We all do. Because we don't have those guys. Like I remember, like I was watching this clip of Jalen Ramsey, and it was like Jalen Ramsey's best plays from like the 33rd team. And I'm just sitting there, I'm thinking, I'm like, man, anytime that I would watch Jacksonville games, because I'm from Jacksonville, Duke always, you know what I'm saying? But anytime I would watch Jacksonville games, I could, like, especially in 2017 when he was there, I was like, Jalen Ramsey's gonna make a play. And surely enough, Jalen Ramsey always made a play. He like you said, he was that closer. And we have that now in AJ Terrell, but he just needs help. So that he can, he can get there, so he can close that game. We don't have an Ngakoue and a Calais Campbell on the front lines. We're kind of bare up there, which which honestly goes right into mine, because mine is AK-47. I was thinking about going Drake London, but we had 18 sacks last year. I mean that's atrocious, bro. 18 sacks as a team. Jacob Tuioti Mariner had what? And we'll have like the second most sacks, and he left week 6, week 7. That's gross, man. That's gross. That is, they released him, bro. They released him, and he still stayed up at the top of the leaderboard. Like, why is this man on the high score list, bro? Why he's gone? But I mean, it hurts. It hurts to see, but we need something, and I feel like AK just like his level of skill. I mean, it looks like he's able to be a solid piece for us, at least for right now, and that's kind of what we need. We need something to help get us to the next step, and I feel like Ebiketie can get us to that next step on the front line.
I agree there. You need that guy to help Jarrett. So, and maybe Carter helps out too, because Carter's got himself a little bit of a rush too.
I'm excited for him too.
I forgot about Lorenzo. Lorenzo can sit here and mentor him. It's just he landed in a good spot to where he can get, like, he's going to get those reps first year, so that's good. But he's also going to be able to learn from guys like Lorenzo, Like, dang, who else do we have in there? Is it really just Lorenzo Carter on the edge?
Yeah, like from
Malone
veteran
and
standpoint,
AK-47.
yeah, it's really him. I guess Ade he's the second second year
Really
guy, but
learn
I
much
mean,
from him.
yeah, like he hit that rookie wall after his even like as a pass rush he wasn't that progressive, but I think a lot of people are clamoring like for Atlanta to kind of sign a guy like a guy I hinted at, maybe Alex Okafor. He could be a guy that we kind of look at to I mean, he's not that great, and you're still being able to give reps to D'Angelo Malone and Arnold Ebiketie. But yeah, I'm firmly on the. That's a good thing. Like AK is going to get a ton of time. Like he's gonna get a ton of time, and we're gonna really see. I know at Penn State, like he was one of the highest pressure guys in the country last year. So I mean, pressure would be great. Like pressure alone would be fantastic. Just a guy to bookend with Grady. Yeah, exactly. I know people are going to be like, if he doesn't have this many sacks, but I mean, if he's pressuring at a super high rate, other guys are collecting sacks. I'm all right with that too.
Yeah.
Who you got, Trey?
Man, this is tough, man. There's two guys I really want to mention, but I'm gonna stay right next to Savion, and I'm gonna go with Taquan Graham.
Yay!
I knew it.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Looking at what the team did this offseason, you mentioned a couple names earlier. We re-signed Anthony Rush as your nose, and then you got Vincent Taylor, who can kind of do a little bit of the nose and the three technique. So there's a gap there for Taquan Graham to step up and find a bigger role for himself. Mm-hmm. I think Adam, you've been high on him. He's a guy last year, I think, as well, that we saw like hit a little bit of that rookie wall. And this is something we talk about in spaces a lot, but he's a guy that does stuff that just doesn't really show up on film. Mm-hmm. He's a guy who knows how to do his job. I mean, he's very, very clean when he is doing what he's supposed to do, when he's on the field. He's got great technique, and it's really just like the power. I think that's really what you wanted to see more of. And like that's common with guys coming out, especially out of the Big 12, which that's my college conference. D linemen in the Big 12 are typically slimmer guys. You don't really have that's where you get your more athletic profile D linemen, I feel like, from the league. So they don't have the SEC who are more built pro ready, Big 10, your classic pro style looking edges and interior D linemen. So Taquan Graham, I think he's got a really good shot here to actually step up and be a legit, doesn't need to be a superstar, right? Like we need guys who are just legitimate guys who are just players. Like if you are like, if like, I'm not looking for just average, obviously, but like, man, if you can do your job, if you can hold that spot down and you can finally be the guy to give Grady some help, or you can finally be the guy that actually gets a little bit of a rush from the inside so that Grady's not the only dude that has to do that.
Triple team against the Lions.
Exactly, and he's somebody that I'm really excited for. I think he's been lifting. Dude looks a lot bigger this year coming into
Crush,
camp.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I always like to see that.
We've been saying about adding like a 5-tech in the pass rush downs, like when we play that 3-man front. But I mean, they haven't added a body there, and Taquan was that dude last year, so. Maybe they like the progression that he's on, and maybe they don't want to stun it, and they want to give a full view look. I mean, as a run stuffer last year, like he was solid. Like when Grady would go out and he would come in for the wind exchange. I call it the wind exchange when Grady gets tired. But when he came in, like, I mean, I'm not saying that he didn't skip, like Atlanta's defense as a whole didn't skip a beat, but like he was gap sound and he was attacked, like Trey was saying, like he was doing his job. Like he was holding gaps, he was taking on double teams, splitting double teams. And this year, this offseason, like all like pretty much right after the season, he was in the weight room. And he's a guy I would not be shocked if he was a guy that pulled out a starting spot and really put himself into it. Come this time next year, we're not talking about Taquan being like a kind of mainstay on that D line for us.
He has a lot of Corey Peters to his game.
He does. And
You know what he does? That's a great
guy that can
Oh.
play that 1 through the 5, be effective, do his job.
there's another guy on the
He'll
roster
eventually
that
be
they
above
probably
average.
like to see do that. You could call him the
Marlon
last
Davidson.
projects.
I
mean,
don't
The name
even
would
think
be
about
Marlon,
Marlon
like,
anymore.
right?
Marlon just has to
something?
stay healthy, I feel like, and he could be that too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not
You
saying
know
these
my
guys.
thing?
If your entire team is a bunch of average dudes for the most part, like guys that play NFL average, and you have 4 to 5 guys on each side of the ball that are above average to great, you win games.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get average
I
play
feel like
at 6 of the positions,
Because
and the rest 5 to 4 elite. Like, yeah, man, that's
if you get 1 elite and then like 3 good and like the rest is average on your entire side of the ball, you're
Pretty
getting
good.
that's a great team.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
some
I mean,
guys,
that's
I'm
a lot
like,
of
I
rosters
just want them to play
winning
average
rosters.
because
I
that'll
think
help
it's
the
an
team.
honest way to look at it too.
Any
Scott.
round.
Saying like that's how teams really are built. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like you don't have like 4 amazing this and that unless you're like the Los Angeles Rams defense. Then you do have like
That was crazy.
elite
With
legend.
with
That
dudes
was crazy.
taking pay cuts.
Bro,
Yeah,
That
listen.
was crazy.
You have future Hall of Famer last year, future Hall of Famer Von Miller, future Hall of Famer Aaron Donald, future Hall of Famer Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I
Nah.
was
like-
if Von Miller was on that team. Like,
Bro.
that was mid-season trade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro,
Always
that
gonna
is
forget he was on that team.
insane.
It just sounds ridiculous even hearing.
Well, and on
Bro,
offense,
that was
you
insane.
had one of the best left tackles in the last 2 decades in Andrew Whitworth.
Cooper
You had
Kupp.
Odell Beckham and Cooper Kupp playing out their mind. You had Matt
Yes.
Stafford with a career year. So I mean,
You
4
can't
guys
We're
right there.
so
And then they had a
bad.
bunch of average play from everybody else.
Ever.
Okay, and let's go to this year, right? I know they lost Von Miller, right? Y'all will have to remind me of the pieces they added on defense, but they just signed Allen Robinson. You just had the guy. Didn't Cooper Kupp win like the 3 crowns? Didn't he
Allen
lead in like
Triple Crown. Yeah.
Did he win a triple crown?
Stafford,
the triple? He won the triple crown, bro. You add Allen Robinson. I don't know, bro. They're still to me the favorites, in my opinion.
Robertson and Stafford.
Right
that is a great QB wide receiver. Just fit, like I think.
They added
Just
Bobby Wagner.
guys that Stafford's played with over his.
Oh, that's who
Bobby
they signed.
Wagner.
Scott
That's
Bobby
who it was.
Wagner. I gotta stop playing so much. But yeah, like I don't know, man. To me, if I'm just looking at the rosters, I gotta look more into their schedule before I start saying stuff like that. But I'm thinking they're probably my favorite right now.
So if I had
In
to
the
pick,
NFC, I should say. In the NFC.
in the
side.
NFC, that's fair. If I had to pick one Falcon this year that I'm excited to see have some progression and get better and all of that, it's going to be Desmond Ridder. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
he doesn't even have to play every game, but if he can show that he's the guy, and I'm not even setting like huge standards, like give me slightly below average play. I just need 200 yards passing each game, like a touchdown each game, touchdown and a half average each game you play. Like, try not to throw a pick every game. Like,
yeah.
As a passer, that's all I'm asking. If he can do that as a passer and give us like some flash plays where he's like he did in college, he's hitting guys in that seam, right in that inside route. That is going to be a money route for the Falcons moving forward.
Yes.
When you've got guys who play a lot like Drake London and Kyle Pitts, that seam route is going to be incredibly important. And if you've got 2 guys who can run it as well as those 2 guys can, that's going to be your 30, 40-yard chunk plays that they get.
Yeah, I agree. And look, you guys are going to have to stop me and tell me when we're done because I have so many things that I can just talk about right now.
I got one thing I want to squeeze in real quick, please.
Yeah.
Just
what's that? Trey?
Do you? It feels like this for me, especially within our own fan base. I'm not sure it's always hard to gauge the perception of your team by the rest of the league and by the rest of the fans. But you guys feel like Drake London is the least talked about top 10 pick
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, I feel like it.
Insane how we almost, as Falcons fans, really don't talk that much about him.
No.
And then
I think it's good. I think it's good.
Honestly, you would think Desmond Ritter was our first pick.
Yeah, you would,
bro.
and I like that. But I like that.
But everyone's talking about my third round QB. I'm the 8th pick.
Yeah.
So
but
that's going to be less pressure on those 3 guys that were taken ahead of him because you won't have that same rookie pressure on London.
More pressure on him, though. But I think Desmond is built for it.
The pressure's going to be on Ritter, but Ritter, personality-wise, feels a lot like Matt Ryan when he was coming into the Falcons. He's built for it. He's got that fuck you, I'm good, I'm going to show you who I am kind of mentality. And either he does or he doesn't. We only use a 3rd-round pick on him, so very low investment cost. And worst case, he's a long-term backup for 4 years on a super cheap contract.
And he's a system backup. Like worst case scenario, he's Chase Daniels. He's he's a guy that can actually be, and I know this isn't like a priority when you're building a team, but man, when you have a system QB2 who legitimately you can just turn to, no problem. It's like when we saw Matt Schaub walk in and throw 400 on Russell Wilson in Russell Wilson's house. Like when you have stuff like that, it's nice. Like
that's true.
That is true.
That's true.
You know,
and speaking of,
I was just gonna say, like, I think I'm one of the people that's a little, I'm like not on the Ritter wagon all the way, but when I look back and I look at the value where the guy was drafted, and so like I'm not gonna be mad. Like it's a 3rd-round QB at the end of the day. Like if it doesn't work out, like this is such a low risk, high reward scenario that I feel like nothing. Like hopefully nobody gets too tripped up over one way or the other.
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
They'll act like we spent the first pick on him. So I mean, that's just how.
That's true. You know what? Like for me, it happened perfectly, right? Because going into the draft, and most of y'all know this, I was a big Ritter fan, but not as like a 1st-round quarterback. When people were saying draft Ritter at 8, I'm like, you're insane. You're actually insane. But at 43, I was like, at 43, I was the guy in all my mock drafts, most of them. I chose Desmond Ritter because from what I seen with the little bit of film that I had watched up until that point, that was the guy I was willing to spend a second on because his processing ability is ahead of his time to me. Like, and maybe that's just a product of the offense he was playing in Cincinnati, but he's trained really well with getting through his progressions. That was one thing I already liked. I know some people say he's not as mobile as we make him out to be, and he may not be, but he's still mobile. Like he's not a stick.
So
he's not
Vic, but he's at least Kaepernick.
And that's all you need in this offense.
And that's what you need. And like Damsky talks about a lot, he can run the read option, the true RPOs where there's actually an RPO going on. Like, I don't know. I think he has the potential to be solid. I don't want to put expectations on him, but with the mentality he has, I just don't see him failing. And I'm not saying he's going to be a top 10 quarterback, but I can honestly see a guy like Desmond Ritter winning that job like off of sheer will.
So hear me out here, right? What position did y'all play or do you coach when y'all played football, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My
highest in high school, I played the wide.
Play receiver. You played wide receiver. Damn, so
what you got that speed fleet? All right.
I had that speed.
What did you play, Damsky?
So I played linebacker, running back, and safety. I rotated through those 3, but right now I coach linebackers and DBs. That's where I've been at.
And Trey, where'd you play? Or are you not there?
Sorry. Played in Dallas, Texas, Frisco area. Running back, wide receiver, and then edge, outside linebacker / like strong safety. We ran like a 2-4, really like gimmicky high school, like just like
4-5,
spread offense, like kind of defense. So, like the position itself was like
pretty impressive.
I'll call it like the Sam, but it was like I was actually like down on the line, or like on the other half, like
So I was a linebacker. And whenever there was a mobile quarterback, you were like, God damn it. Because you had to, it affected your rushing.
This is what I tell people. I'm like, if you ever played a guy like this,
hated it.
You understand how like when I was in high school, I had a guy that was Michael Vick, was the Canadian version of Michael Vick. And they said like he wore number 7. His name was Bennett. I'll never forget this kid. He was the nicest kid. But bro, he was like he was the Canadian version of Michael Vick. He wore number 7, had the dark visor, and they were like, Adam, you got to spy him, at least bring him inside. And he would always break my contain every single time. He was just that agile. And
it's so hard to play those guys.
It's difficult. And like the way, like they ran wishbone like a ton. And it was like this, and then he would go back door. And I was like, man, this is fucking impossible. Because you're thinking that you have to run. Like your first thought as a linebacker is that you have to run to the perimeter of the defense. But then it's like if they do the fullback dive and I'm trying to run, this fullback's going to put me on my ass. I can't brace for this hit properly. And so they were doing this, and then they had this like 6'4" receiver that was also a basketball star. So
they would
roll out and throw it, and I'd be like, okay, all right, well, and then so that team now is the best team in Canada, STM, St. Thomas More. They're the best team in Canada. They've won like 10 straight championships, state championships. They won like all these. So like, you know what I mean? Like they knew what they were doing with him, and like it was a fucking nightmare. It was just brutal.
So I bring that point up
Kyler Murray growing up
because it's going to help the offensive line.
Had to play
the offensive line
down the street from me.
You played Kyler Murray growing up?
I'm sorry, Trey.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Kyler Murray. I played Jay Ajayi. I played. Man, I can keep going. It's Texas, so you know.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You say that, but like Atlanta's just as heavy.
Oh no, Georgia. I know. Georgia, Florida, California. I caught those. Those are the big four.
And then if you're playing those boys from South Georgia at like Lowndes, Lowndes High School, they're all like 400 pounds and 6'5" and farm boys, and they're just
cornbread fed.
You're like, You're like, oh, okay.
We had a whole community. We had a whole Tongan community that just
damn.
Oh, see, that would be the group I want to hang out with.
You're just walking out and you see the haka for the first time, and you see that with like the Friday Night Lights atmosphere, and it's just like, oh, we're gonna die tonight, boys. This is not gonna be a normal football game. And
this is how,
dude, it was like playing against 11 of your dads. It was just like mean.
Not my dad, man.
They're not good at football. They're just like punching the shit. Like they're good at the physical aspect of the game, man.
Man, you don't understand
you
how
guys
quick
know
my
Dallas
hamstring
Warmack?
But I was only bringing
Dallas
that
Warmack.
up.
I went to high school with him.
Who was that?
Dallas Warmack.
Dallas Warmack.
He was an offensive lineman. He played for Alabama. He played for Oregon.
Warmack.
Chance Warmack's brother.
Chance Warmack, but his real name is. I thought his real name was that.
I think he has a brother, like Scott said.
Okay, well, I went to school with his brother.
I think he went to school. Yeah, no, like the guy. Yeah,
that's terrifying.
Going back to the Ritter thing. Sorry, guys. Going back to the Ritter. Mariota, that offensive line is going to be better because Ritter and Mariota can run.
I hope so. Yeah, that's the hope. Yeah. That's the hope.
I hope so. Well.
Get him as far away from Jalen Mayfield as you can.
I'm less with Ritter. I'm like, okay, I think so. With Marcus, I don't know.
Marcus is good at it, man. That is the best part of his game right now in the NFL is his running game.
But it really wasn't that great though. Like, and I blame Malarkey more than freaking anybody because it's like, you know, he's trying to play. We have exotic smash mouth is what they called their offense, and it's like just the worst running offense you've ever seen. And then it's like, hey Marcus, take a 7-step drop and throw it up. So they didn't really help him. Arthur Smith, when he was there with him, it was a little bit better. I think he looked okay with the Raiders, but honestly, man, I really feel like he doesn't handle interior pressure all that
brought in to start. I'm telling you right now, I don't think he was truly brought into. I don't think he truly was brought in to start. I think he was brought in to start until they feel Ritter's ready.
Until they got Ritter,
and then Ritter's going to start. No, I don't think there was ever a plan.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like we'll see if we get our guy in the draft, and then like we'll literally like. I was expecting the Brian Joe Harrington.
their worst case scenario was let him start all year and then go get CJ Stroud.
Yeah,
because I think they truly did love Ritter. I don't know if you guys remember when it was like Pro Day Central on the TL, but when everybody's like, oh, they're going to Cincinnati to see all these dudes on the defense, seeing Sauce Gardner and seeing Darian Beavers and seeing all these dudes, and it's like, oh man. And then they saw Desmond Ritter and like, yeah, that's all we needed, and then left, and it was like, oh. So you went to go see Desmond Ritter.
That was like one of the worst kept secrets. Was that I feel like almost that, and like when after the Senior Bowl, after our boy Hunter went to the Senior Bowl, he literally talked to D-Led, and D-Led said that to him off the record, that they were really looking for a big body receiver. I was like, oh fuck. I'm like, I know where this is going. I know we're going receiver in the first round. Like from literally the Senior Bowl to then, I was like, we're going receiver 100%. I wanted Jermaine Johnson, and that's where that's who I wanted. But in my head, and like even like the night of, I was like, oh, we're gonna pick Jermaine Johnson. But in my head, I'm like, this is gonna be. I was already mentally prepared for us to take Drake London.
Yeah. You prepared me for that with your tweets.
I gotta get it. My wife just gave me the look. She said, "Yeah, I gotta go."
Oh yes,
but I gotta go help get the kids ready for bed and whatnot. But this was fun. I mean, if you guys want to keep going, but I'll just say what the plan is. We're gonna break down, like last year. We were kind of doing the training camp battles. We'll do a lead up to that. And obviously everybody will be welcome, and we'll just keep getting thoughts. I know a couple of you guys are going to try to start writing too.
Please do.
So I think Falcons ATB is like really, it's like Taquan Graham right now. It's going way up there.
Love it.
I'm excited, man. This was like really fun. Like Scott was saying, just five guys bullshit, and then these are my favorite talks, and this is why I do the spaces. Just to bullshit with like 60 people. It's like it's the funnest thing. Just talk about different things, and we got 5 really smart people. All common goal. We just want to see Atlanta play well. So this was awesome, guys, and I cannot wait to do it the next time. So I'll let you finish wherever you guys finish, but happy wife, happy life, right?
Right.
See you guys.
Right.
Later.
Have a good night.
Well, I think I might take my exit now as well, guys. My dog and
it's
looking at me here.
So it's been 90.
I think we end it now, real quick.
Yeah, it's been 90.
Everybody sign off.
This has been fun, guys.
Tell them where they can find you on Twitter, real quick, and then we'll end this broadcast.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Trey TRE3 SHON. That's Trey3 SHON on Twitter.
All right, and then Savion, you go.
Find me at LWOS_Mixon, MIXSONS. Just look up, just go after the underscore. Hopefully it'll be there.
It should be. And then Ronnie, what's your at?
You can find me at Ron Rico Season, RONRIKOSZN. But you can search Fleek, and I think you can find me at this point. Right, that's off-season Fleek.
And if you know Scott already, go to Scott's page, and you'll see us there. You'll
definitely see them there. You'll see a bunch of tweets where I've retweeted them. So.
See, Scott is smart, man. He put his handle in the display.
Yeah.
Like that. See,
next level.
Next time we'll do that.
Next
time we'll do that. But yeah, it's been great, guys. We'll go ahead and sign off now, and watch us next show.
Yes, can't wait.